Hello and welcome to India Today. This is Anita Brito in conversation with two new and charming, good-looking villains. So, hello, welcome, welcome. देखो तारीफ कर ली मैंने already. आप
वो तो
लोगों
मेरी
की
की तारा की भी करो ना
अच्छा तारा नीड
villains she said. Okay.
हाँ but I'm too charming.
let me begin by asking you this. When you do a sequel to a film, it's equivalent returns.
Yes.
What kind of, are you under any pressure or is
Right now
just
the only pressure is
Are you on a
stop it. No.
कलो कलो
continue on? Oh, your hair is
अरे मेरा wig हिल जाएगा.
oh, what a beauty.
Aw,
Continue.
yes
This is the pressure.
of
Answer the question.
नहीं, I had to prepare myself to work with Tara, so that took a lot of time. That was the pressure कि अब यार तारा को झेलूंगा कैसे. That was the main thing at the end of the day. More than that, I'm going through a purple patch right now. It looks nicer in your hands than my hairs. But नहीं यार pressure इसीलिए थोड़ा कम feel होता है because हम actors जब set पे shooting करते हैं, we don't think of the end result every day. You know, हम काम कर रहे हैं, हम सोच रहे हैं आज का दिन अच्छा हो. It just should be a good day of shooting. We should meet the demands of the film. And we had Mohit who's made the first one, so there's a little less pressure in that sense. You know, it's the same director following through. So I would say just before the trailer came out, the day the trailer was coming out is when I felt a little anxious because I believe the trailer was very good and I was hoping मेरी connection audience से जो मुझे लगता है कि reaction देंगी, I was more anxious about that more than the sequel and the franchise because that I trust Mohit will get right and we had Balaji on board who were the producers of the first and Ekta and Mohit are pretty clear about how they want to pitch the film. It was more about anxiety about how people will react. The trailer's reaction actually put me at ease. After that, I know that we are heading in the right direction. Now, let the film speak for itself on Friday.
right Tara
I usually don't tend to feel a lot of pressure. I've been a part of other sequels before, but this one feels uniquely special. I can't put my finger on the reason, like as to why.
Take my finger. Where do you want?
Can you please stop cracking bad jokes on like national television? Like, can you not? Can you not? Anyway, I was giving a serious answer and you just ruined it.
but we're liking this
This is
Give a serious
all
answer.
day, every
Yeah.
day. I'm like,
प्रस्तुत कीजिए आपका अच्छा जवाब.
जी बिल्कुल. So what was I saying?
It doesn't matter. They've got content.
so you've been part of
I
couple
have
of
been part of
This one is
sequels
special.
before, but this one is uniquely special.
I
But I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Not only because we have the great Arjun Kapoor, but mostly because it's just been a wonderful experience in every sense. And I know that actors tend to say this for most answers in most interviews, but it's just, I think the four of us have managed to create a very strangely beautiful, unique chemistry on screen and somehow off screen as well. And I'm getting to know Disha more through the promotions, of course. And John, I've known since I was very little. Arjun, I've gotten to know
Since you were very
sadly
little last year.
2 years ago. But there's something really magical about the trailer, and I think the audiences have given us the reaction basis that. So I don't think there was a pressure as such. I think it was just we were, like Arjun says, I don't really think, and he doesn't think of the outcome as much as the day-to-day process of filmmaking. That's the exciting part, especially with a film like this where all of our characters are kind of interlinked and there's so much going on. The trailer did set me at ease as well. My song released shortly after, very recently actually, and the reaction to that's been amazing. So I mean, couldn't have asked for more.
right but have you all gone through the comment section below the YouTube trailer and
No, because that's what the media does. We don't. Honestly.
I have.
I don't.
I have very.
That's what the media
I've
has
never
to
done
do
it
to
before.
gauge.
I've never done it before, but I did this time, and
For
honestly,
Shamat you must have.
for Shamat, obviously,
Yeah,
no,
for
for all the
Shamat.
music I did. Did you ask for the
yeah.
trailer? Because
Trailer,
I did for
music,
a bit of the
everything.
trailer. I saw really good stuff, guys. So
मुझे actually I react more to the spontaneity of the people around who tell you that you need to know your reality has to be around. There are those 10, 15, 20 people that do give you a sense of things, and you need to rely that is something that gives you the energy. Comments में क्या होता है? You can be divided and polarized about certain aspects because it's a franchise. So there's
Yeah.
always a starting point where there will be questions created
that of
because and that will be latched on to by the media because those create interesting questions. But I think the audience is not the comment section of YouTube. That's a very minuscule part of the audience. I think the audience is the people who are actually downloading our music and hearing it, the people who are actually meeting us on ground. The people that will go to the theatre and buy tickets. So it's not that I don't regard the comments, but they're very mixed. At any given point, you will never have a fair opinion of things,
Right.
because there'll obviously be a certain amount of trolls creating a situation where they will speak about certain things negatively. You will also have certain fans who will always overtly be positive.
Right.
So there is a skewering that changes. So the comments is good to know, but you can't base your opinions on it, I guess. So it's better not to get into it. After 10 years, I've realized, let the film speak for itself. Whatever it is, I'll accept that.
Right. But what about comparison? Does it bother you?
No, because what are you going to compare things to? Like, it depends. I mean, like, are you going to compare what happened 8 years back in a different film to what's happening in a new story with new characters now with no relation to those characters? So the comparison is speculative, right? You not. I can understand if you see the film and compare things, chalo, still. But at the end of the day, we've just seen a film like Bhool Bhulaiya do so well. So comparisons are just a conversation. If you're entertaining and engaging an audience, I don't think beyond a point that's pretty relevant. So you can't help it. India is a country that loves comparing. हम जब चीजें खरीदने भी जाते तो हम कहते और दिखाओ ताकि हम compare कर सके. वो अभी tradition बन चुका है. Like we've been compared like race horses as actors also for years now. So it doesn't bother me because I believe and I truly know that the film will stand on merit of the film. The performances will be on merit of what you're doing. I don't think you can ever worry about being compared because वो तो रोज होता है. But you got to believe in what you're doing as an actor, and you got to believe that there's a genuine audience out there that is reacting to your film and responding to the actual film.
Right. Tara, for you, your and Disha's that last bit in the trailer, it is quite intriguing and
Yes.
it's very exciting to see two actresses
Yes.
doing a role like this.
Yes.
ऐसा बहुत पहले काजोल मैम ने भी किया है. She's played a negative character. Couple of other actresses have played.
Sure.
But ये बहुत time बाद हो रहा है that an
Yes.
actress of today's generation are taking that risk. I can call it risk, I don't know, but taking that
I wouldn't
risk
call
and
it a
doing
risk,
it.
but I understand why you're saying
Yeah.
this.
So how did you place yourself in this?
As a human being first, before being an actor, I prefer things that are unusual and haven't really been done before. I tend to veer towards darker films, thrillers. So even if I keep saying this, even if I wasn't in Ek Villain Returns, it's the kind of film that I would go watch, even if I didn't know anybody who was in the film. So as a person, I naturally get attracted to whether it's music, whether it's scripts, whether it's stories, whether it's films, TV shows, whatever, that are perhaps darker. So for me, it's either a thriller, a scary movie, or a rom-com. These are the three genres that I truly, and musicals, that I really, really enjoy. So for me, I wouldn't think of it as a risk for myself personally, and I suppose I can only speak for myself. I'd rather do this than do a run-of-the-mill, I mean, I have done that also, typical heroine kind of film, but we've seen that 1,000 times before. So what's new? What am I adding to this job that is rather new in my life? I would feel let down by myself if I did stuff that was predictable and quite frankly a bit dull now. It's 2022, and if we're calling this kind of role a risk for a young woman, then that's disappointing, I think. So I think we should, I'm glad you asked this question because it helps address this conversation that very few people for some reason are addressing. But it's more exciting. I think the audiences have been more excited about the last shot in the trailer
Yes.
than
Yeah.
most of the shots because I think
I
this
was
is
the
something
most
new.
excited when I saw it.
Same, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I like,
I was like,
wow.
this is where it changes. This is where this film becomes
yeah.
younger.
And we're
cooler,
getting asked
more
this question a
interesting.
lot about
Yeah.
that last shot between Disha and I
Yes.
in the trailer.
And that's-
Everywhere we go. So
That's
it
where it
just
goes
shows.
beyond the first one also. So the comparison has to end there only, or the conversation just goes.
Yeah.
There are 4 grey characters complete,
Correct.
and that's very evident from the trailer.
That's amazing. That's refreshing to
Yeah,
see,
that's what-
actually.
yeah.
That's the thing. But people are also excited to see you and John pitted against each other,
Yeah.
Mara Mari and all that. What was your reaction to it when जोर से मारा जॉन ने तो बीच बीच
नहीं, हम असली में नहीं मारते एक दूसरे को, and I think we should
गलती
clarify
से
that.
गलती से
Yeah, just because people shouldn't ever try that at home. No, galti se, that's the thing. Doing action films, you have to understand there's a lot that goes into making things look the way they do. When we have professionals around, it's very important that the safety is taken care of first. जब हम fighters के साथ करते हैं, the stunt team, they make sure they make us look good because of the reactions and because of the rehearsals. The same goes for when 2 actors are working, and I've been lucky. I've done Gunde before in the past where Ranveer and me were pitted against each other in a sequence. You need to have an understanding with each other. And I think John, because he's done so much of action, he's known for it. It was very easy for us to sit and talk about the fact that yes, we will push for the best shot possible, not at the risk of hurting each other or ourselves. And that's how it should be done. And I think that's where the best sequences come out, when there is an ease between two people. I think you need to care about each other to look like you hate each other, because you need to care that there is acting involved, and you don't need to actually physically go to that extreme. And that is, action is a skill that is very unique. It's like how I would say she's singing. It's not like action. Also, even on set, there are people who can do it, get it, and John is one of those. And I'm very fortunate that I also got trained at an early time in my career when I did a lot of action films, that I'm at ease. So it made for easy working experiences, and we didn't have to get into it. But I was most excited to be able to be pitted against him. Because for me, that's me standing up and being accounted for as a man versus man situation. And for me, I feel that's the best part about the trailer, regardless of anything else. आप कुछ भी बोलो, आप ये नहीं बोल सकते कि आप ट्रेलर में बता सकते कौन जीतेगा कौन हारेगा. And for me, that physical transformation for this film that I've done, just the fact that I can stand in front of John Abraham in a 2.5 minute, and you do feel that it's going to be two equals fighting in character. I think for me that's the biggest achievement out of the last few years of my career, that I've been able to do that.
No, I actually was a part of a sequence in the film where they were both fighting each other, and it was actually kind of nice to observe two actors who both done a lot of work in their own right, obviously, kind of take care of each other. It was really nice, personally, for me to just observe that. There's lots of learning in it. Whether it was John saying after every shot, "Are you okay, Baba?" and then Arjun saying the same thing pretty much, and just taking care of each other. It's nice to see that.
Will we see you and Disha also doing some action scenes?
Will we?
It's a cat fight.
It's an interesting question.
Can't
I
answer that.
sadly cannot answer this question, but there's much to be teased about, just like you've seen in the trailer. So there's lots
Yeah,
of
icing on the
exciting
cake,
stuff.
actually.
But I think it's about time we do action films more and more, where even the women get to do. I mean, there are. It's not that there aren't.
Disha's actually amazing at like action. We've seen her on Instagram, especially, you know. And in fact, my next film, Apurva, that releases obviously much later. I'm beginning to work on it now. There's so much in that film. That's my first film as a solo lead, as a female lead, and it's interesting because that role requires a lot of physical strength. So it would be great if we could keep continuing this string of films that require women to also do action.
I think that's just beginning now, like where roles are being written for women. Yeah.
I think the changes happen to some degree. I think it'll happen, keep happening now. It's just a starting point.
Correct. I have a lot of things to ask you, but I have been told to wrap this up quickly. I have a quick game to play with you all. That's called Never Have I Ever, but
Oh, जो mask पहन के और निकाल के.
so if you have done it, you'll wear the mask. If you haven't,
Okay, so if you've done it, we wear it. If you've not, okay. So we keep it off. Okay.
okay. So quickly, never have I ever with the team. Never have I ever played a villain in someone else's love story.
So if we have, then we wear it. If we haven't, we don't.
Don't wear
But what if I believe I was the hero of that?
it. You can wear it.
Most probably did.
Yeah.
So you can.
I mean, what is the... What?
not been villain.
No.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right. Never have I ever missed a flight.
I mean, I don't want to jinx it.
No.
I've never missed it.
Wow.
Ovari.
Okay. Never have I ever gotten lost in a foreign country.
Well, that we all do.
Ooh.
जब
Okay.
तक गूगल नहीं था, गूगल बाबा नहीं था हमारी लाइफ में,
Okay.
उसके साथ भी लॉस होता
You
है.
get lost, yeah,
पर वो
actually.
थोड़ा 200 मीटर तक ही होता है. You can manage the one wrong turn. You can manage.
Right. Never have I ever crashed a wedding.
No, I've never crashed away.
No, I'm not. Wow, I wish I did. But like,
Okay. Never have
Why
I.
I haven't though.
I would
sorry.
have heard you would have.
No.
Never have I ever snooped through someone else's stuff.
Snoop through somebody else's.
Yeah, that's
So many friends and all. Yeah.
Okay. Never have I ever deleted a post on social media because it didn't get enough likes.
No, I deleted it because of a very weird caption that I didn't realize it was.
So, yeah, yes.
I've
yes.
deleted stuff because I have this OCD about वो अगर अच्छा नहीं लगता तो मैं delete, like usually when you see Instagram sometimes वो सर कट गया या कुछ हो गया तो फिर मैं delete कर देता हूँ.
all the time.
हाँ फिर मैं
So, आप
yeah,
पहन लो
I have.
mask. ठीक है. So, last question. Never have I ever left someone on red.
मतलब
पढ़ के छोड़ दिया.
Okay.
अच्छा
I do this
All the time.
by mistake.
Okay.
I'm
No,
very bad with my
I'm very.
कोई कोई होता है ना दिमाग में आंसर दे देते हैं और टाइप करके
I'm very prompt with my cellular. But only during marketing, I've realized what happens is you feel you read a message and you're about to, and then you're doing an interview or you're going some, and you forget that you've typed it but not replied it. But I intentionally have never done it.
तो उसके लिए मास्क पहने नहीं पहने
बिकॉज वो सिर्फ हर 10-15 दिन में हर पिक्चर के लिए होता है, वरना नॉर्मल जिंदगी में नहीं होता.
ठीक है. जाते जाते सिर्फ एक सवाल अर्जुन आपसे और तारा से. रणवीर हैज ब्रोकन द इंटरनेट yesterday with a crazy picture, the photo shoot that he's
Is it
done.
crazy now knowing Ranveer? It's not even that crazy.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
What is your reaction to that? Will you ever do it? Will you dare to do that?
I mean, I think it's an irrelevant question to ask me about what I'll do and what I won't do. I think we should just appreciate what he's done.
Okay.
Yeah. मतलब ऊट पटांग सी चीज है ना. आप मुझसे पूछोगे फिर आप वो कैरी करोगे, मेरी पिक्चर की मार्केटिंग तो नहीं करोगे. इसीलिए हम लोग डरते हैं मार्केटिंग करने से.
ठीक है. All right.
We should all be happy and proud of what he's done, but it has nothing to do with me. So you're taking away from what that boy has done, and you're trying to put it.
No,
to
I'm just
no,
asking
it's not something
No,
that's worth it.
All right.
I think we should be proud of the fact that he's so proud of his body and he's able to showcase it, and full marks to him.
Superb. Well, on that note, thank you so much for talking
Thank
with
you.
us, and all the very best for Ek Villain.
Thank you so much. Thank you.